Here we sit, and there he stands. Vasil from North Macedonia is singing the song Here I Stand at Eurovision 2021. This is all about picking yourself up and moving forward. It's about growing from past struggles, and he relates to this through the story of a sad child. He is, in fact, singing about himself, he told me in a recent interview. He says, "There are times when I remember back, wish to hug the child about to crack." And he wants to tell him, wait, it won't be long. Trust your heart and just stay strong. The question is this song strong enough to make the final? Shall we talk about it? Let's do this.
They all tried to break us, not knowing it's what makes us. This is how we found our way.
You guys, this song is very Disney, and I mean that in a positive way. There's a sincere feeling here that lots of people can relate to. Yes, Disney songs are cliche. This does feel familiar. However, I think it's okay to feel familiar if you're giving a sincere emotion. And this is very sincere. No one can say he's not feeling this. The man is in tears throughout this music video. He is feeling every note. I think the controversies that have surrounded him in recent weeks, owing to the appearance of an artwork that resembled the Bulgarian flag in the music video, he was then, subject to sort of an organized hate attack, basically. Everybody saying, get rid of him, push him out, he should not represent our country. And he has held strong. He has stood his ground, and he has not apologized for who he is. And yes, he's got 2 passports. He's a citizen of Bulgaria and North Macedonia. Why should he be ashamed? He should not. I think that made me like this song more, actually. Like, he sings about people trying to tear you down and them actually making you stronger, and that's exactly what's happened. I think this whole controversy actually endeared him to people. I don't think that's enough necessarily to push the song to the final. It's all going to come down to that live performance. It is an uphill struggle. It always is for North Macedonia. But I like to think he's going to peak at the right time, and that on the stage he will have a beautiful moment. And let me point out, he's working with the same stage director who did Tamara Tedesca, who of course won the jury vote at Eurovision 2019. So that's all very positive. Suzanne, what do you think?
I hope he is as proud as Tamara. I also feel like I'm feeling very European today, drinking my sparkling water from Lidl, which we also have in America. So what do I think? I don't often do a lot of research before we do these videos, right? Interestingly, the Eurovision video that I watched of this, and I think everyone's probably seen it because I think it's the official Eurovision video, I think. Vasil talks about how, when the news came out that Eurovision 2020 was canceled, how devastated he was. And I believe he's holding a guitar as he's speaking. And he talks about how he just began to write this song, Here I Stand, sort of as an ode to returning to Eurovision in 2021. And I thought that was really beautiful. Just as I find the song beautiful is also just trusting your heart. It was a beautiful message. They will try to break us, not knowing what makes us stand tall. There's no pretending. It's just incredibly motivational. In the opening of the song, you see, and actually the video I watched today was different from the one that had the interview in it. So maybe I didn't initially watch the official Eurovision video as I say that, but the video opens up and it's kind of like an old-timey movie, and it's like you see this orchestra and all of these folks sitting around, and I'm picturing Orson Welles, oddly, all of these folks sitting around in a circle playing the various musical instruments. And then it transitions to Vasil. God, I hope I'm talking about the right song. And he opens up, and I did feel like I was in an old-timey movie. Just with all of the instruments, I almost felt as though I was listening to a Chicago REO Speedwagon song from the 80s. But as he talks, towards the end of the song, there's a reference to nostalgia, and it becomes quieter. I thought it was beautiful and motivational. That's how I feel.
All right, thank you so much, Oliver.
I think this is the cheesiest of cheese. I love me some cheese. I love me some high camp. Sergei Lazarev, Scream. That was high camp, okay? This is just off to the power of 10 Broadway production of Cats. A fan Broadway production of Cats. It's just so cheesy and so musical theatre. I have to give him props for doing that because it takes nerve. But I just think this is so cliche and tropey. He's got a really good vocal. I really like Vasil actually as a personality. I think it really shines through. But when we think about the overall zeitgeist of the now, right? When Eurovision was first cancelled, we kind of expected quite a lot of artists to go down the route of, oh, I feel so sad because it was cancelled and now this is my anthem to get back and going out there. We expected a lot of that, right? And I think we haven't actually got a lot of that in the rest of the songs. So all of that energy seems to have manifested itself through North Macedonia, through Vasil, through Here I Stand. I just... It's just so messy as well. Like structurally, I can't really tell the difference between what the verse is, what the chorus is, and then there's a random key change halfway through that is just stripped right out of an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. I don't really have much positive to say about this song other than Vasil's vocal is great as always, and I hope he nails it on the night.
My walls are down, my heart's in your hand. They all tried to break us, not knowing it's what makes us. They don't know. This is how we found our way. Lucy.
So it's really interesting what you just said there, Oliver, about the structure, because this year I have got my best friend into Eurovision fully for the first time, my dear darling best friend Ben, and he has watched all the videos, and the very first thing he said when he watched this song was like, where's the structure? It's all off, it's confusing me, like so that was quite like, yeah, you're not the only person who thinks that. Like, it's so kind of a bit kind of just flips between different things, kind of goes into a different genre almost towards the end. I do agree it's very camp, not necessarily in the best way. But what I will say, it is so much more authentic than last year's song to him. And I am obsessed with getting to see him live his best life in that music video. He looks so happy. He looks like he's enjoying every second of it. His performance in Rotterdam is going to be like that. It's going to be so real. And I think that's where he could maybe, do better than we expect. But it's not my cup of tea. I love musical theatre with a ferocious passion. I love the West End, love all that. But I just can't get on board with this, like how it is just so... And the crying in the video is a little bit like, okay. But like, it's kind of nice though, because it clearly like envelops him to be so emotional. I wonder if he's going to cry in Rotterdam, bless him. But it's just not my cup of tea. I am just glad to see he's bringing something more him, though. And I think I can speak for every single Eurovision fan here, saying, like, thank God he's back this year. Thank God he is actually going to Rotterdam, because that would have been awful if he didn't. And, yeah, I mean, the whole meaning of the song can even be related to this, because, you know, he's still standing after what's happened. He's kind of taking that hate and just being like, yeah, bye. Like, he's staying passionate to what he wants to do, and he's doing it well, bless him. So yeah, I think it's just not my kind of genre, but you know, it's him and it's real, it's authentic.
I'm going to read a comment on Wiwibloggs. This is just a counterpoint to the Disney talk. Joey writes, the song couldn't be more cliche. The introduction and to see him cry in the music video make it even worse. Many people compare this to a Disney song, and I think that I, as a Disney fan, should feel a bit offended about this. This is nowhere near as good as a Disney song. I think this has some things going for it. One is that there are pre-recorded backing vocals this year, so he will be able to include the glorious choir that he has in his music video. They, of course, include voices from the Chicago Children's Choir, of which he was a part, so that's all very good. And you couldn't do that in a normal year. You'd have to, have real backing back there, but we're going to get this kind of special sound. Yeah, and he's going to be emotional on the night, and that will make it feel very different, because anything in a music video is compressed, digitized, and so it doesn't fully come through. So I'm very much looking forward to that. This is, again, it's not my cup of tea, this type of music, but that's just, a personal stylistic choice. I think that it's wonderful he's being so true to himself, and he's got some moves, y'all. I love this move when he bending it back. That is the Ina Bauer in figure skating. Have a Google, and once again, shout out to Shizuka Arakawa, 2006 Turin. I love that move, girl. All right, now, you guys, in the running order, this is performing in the first semifinal, position 6, after Australia's Montaigne and her Technicolor Fantasy, and before Ireland's Leslie Roy, who incidentally is one of his Eurovision besties, so that can only be fun. They get to line up with each other backstage. In any case, Suzanne, do you think this will make the final?
I am unsure if this will make the final. It is in the first half. It is early on as number 6. I don't know that this is one that's really going to draw everybody in, though I like it. So I'm really on the fence about whether this one is going to make the final or not, though I wish Vasil and North Macedonia much luck.
All right, thank you so much, Oliver.
I don't think this is going to make the final. I think this is actually probably a contender for last place in the semi-final. Part of me really wants this to go through because of what you said about the backlash with the Bulgarian flag. And, Vasil needs to be present at Eurovision. And I think he's doing a lot for representation there. As a personality, I'd really like to see him go through. But I actually want to compare this to Israel 2019, Kobe Marimi. Great vocal, musical theatre vibes, last place with the juries, 0 points in the final. It's got very similar air to it, and I think there's a time and a place for musical theatre. I think Eurovision, unfortunately, isn't that time or place for North Macedonia.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going through. Being blunt, I do think it's one of the more obvious contenders to not go through this year. There aren't many people who you can definitely write off, but unfortunately I do think this is one of them. Also, that placing the semi-final is probably the most brutal one of the year. Having to go after Technicolor, which, whether you think that's qualifying or not, that's going to be a show, and people are kind of like, damn, watching it, and then they come down to it and they go, oh, okay, kind of going down to this tone, and then they're back up again for Leslie Royal with epic realness there. So it is going to be forgotten, bluntly. Yeah, I don't think this is, in fact, that it's not going through.
Yeah, I kind of have to echo the sentiment. As a person, love him, adore him, love his voice. It is on point. I just wish the voice was deployed in a different song. For me, this song, I appreciate the message, but this is not something I would kind of loop on Spotify. And I think loopability is like a good indicator of how you might vote, something you would really get behind. I think he might pick up some points with the jury. I don't think he'll come last with the jury. I think the televote is where it might be a bit more brutal, because I just don't know if viewers tend to respond to musical theater. Do you remember Omar Nabir from Slovenia? He had a musical theater-esque song. I think it came last, or it came near the bottom. I'm getting similar vibes, just because of the genre, the feeling, the sentiment. In any case, all right, now it's time to go around and give our scores out of a 10, along with the justification, starting with Suzanne.
My score for Vasil, singing Here I Stand, for North Macedonia is a 7 out of 10. Well done. I like it. Again, I do not know that it's going to appeal to the masses.
Thank you so much, Oliver.
It's a 2.5 from me. Again, a really low score because I just don't think there's much going for this song. If I could vote purely on personality and as an artist, Vasil would get like a 9 or a 10 out of 10 because I just adore him. I think he's so likable. And, like we said earlier about representation, he's doing such a good job going for his country at Eurovision. but this song musically, it's just scraping the bottom of the barrel. I've got to be honest.
I've given it a 3. I felt sad giving it a 3, and I am Denard, but I realised again it was his personality that was making me and ah. I mean, a 3 is not the worst I could give, but it's got something there, but it's just not a great something. So yeah, it's a 3.
My score is a 5. Those points all go to Vasil for that voice, that personality. The song, if I was just basing this on the song, my score would be lower, if I'm being brutally honest. But I hope for the best. I think he's got a great stage director, and we know he can sing. And when you put these things together, there could be surprises. I think it's very much an uphill climb to reach the final. But hey, let's see what happens. I'm excited. We, of course, are not the only Wiwibloggs. There are dozens of us all over the world, and when we combine all of their scores and take a global average, we get 4.05. So this is definitely near the bottom overall. Thoughts?
I'm going to be really mean, say I'm surprised it's that high. Suzanne's frown kind of sums up everything there.
Well, that's what we think. What do you think? Are you standing with Vasil? Do you think that live this is going to be emotional and epic? Is there hope for the final? Let us know here on Wiwibloggs.
Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, comment on all of our social media platforms and our website.
So you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, basically anywhere. Just search Wiwibloggs and hit us up.
And stay tuned for more Wiwi jury videos for all of the countries competing in Eurovision 2021.
And we will see you later. Bye.
Bye.